Invariably, when I have asked the question, as I've asked now, will Tucker Carlson be the leader of a new media era? Who's going to be the new? And then you can say the new Charlie Kirk, the new Joe Rogan, the new Alex Jones. Who? And when I ask this, invariably people will say, "Well, I like Candace, or I like Matt Walsh, or I like." And I said, "That's not the question. I'm not asking you whom do you like. I'm asking who will be the next person, who will be the star, not whom you care for. That's a different story. That's something which people have a hard time kind of grasping for reasons I don't understand, but they always simplify it and put it in terms of themselves. What do they think? What's their version of it? And even though it's nice to know kind of what you think, the issue is, what do you think other people are going to feel? That's the issue. And that's the problem. And that's what I want people to understand. That's it. Not what you feel, not what's important to you. It's a very difficult thing. It's a very interesting concept. And I'm so surprised at how many people have such a difficult time understanding it and grasping it. They really it's not personal. There's nothing personal about it. They don't mean to be that. They just can't ever think of something aside from what they personally like. I have seen in the recent days that cable news, and I don't say Fox versus CNN versus I don't even make a distinction anymore, because it's cable news. It's this safe pablum. It's this stuff that simply doesn't matter. It's this stuff that doesn't matter. It's this jazz that I can't get away from. And I don't know what the best way to phrase it is, and I don't even know why that is. I don't know why it's so bad. But I'm going to try saying something to you which is going to be very difficult for a lot of people, because this is really tough. And it's tough for a good reason, and that's that most people have a hard time. And it's not just you. I keep seeing people have a hard time, but it's true. It's a very difficult thing, and I've seen this. But what I like has nothing to do with my predictions or the way I kind of look at the world. What I like, my politics, my ideas, my wishful thinking, all that doesn't come into play here at all, because I'm a little weird when it comes to what I find interesting. And I recognize the world does not share my sensibilities, if that makes any sense to you. But I want to give you an idea of what's going on. And I want to talk about some things. And I want you to just keep an open mind, and do not necessarily think that you have to either justify what you like, what you find interesting, what you think is important. That's not the issue. That's not the issue. We're talking about something here which is very, very important, because right now we are at such a turning point. Not to use any kind of Charlie Kirk puns or references, but that's the thing too. I don't think people recognize the fact that Charlie Kirk is dead and long gone. And they're going to pick that thing clean. And I don't know whom to trust. I don't know Eric. I don't know. I really wasn't that big of a Charlie Kirk fan to begin with. But I recognize what he did, and that's important. I never cared for the Beatles, but that doesn't mean that I don't understand what they did. You see what I'm saying? This is what I want you to grasp. It's an idea which is very difficult for people don't understand. Really and truly. It really is tough because people always say, well, I like this. Well, I don't watch CNN. I don't listen. I don't have a computer. I don't have, whatever. People always love to tell you what they don't do. Well, I don't watch TV. I don't read. Thank you very much. No, no way. You think I read? I don't read. Thank you. What are you proud of? I don't know. But before we begin, and today is going to be a real barn burner, because you are going to really, if you do what I do, what I tell you correctly, if you listen, you will thank me like you cannot believe. If you listen to what I say, if you really listen to what I say and don't kind of go off into the woods, so to speak. But let me tell you something which is very, very important, my friends, and I'm telling you right now. You know it and I know it. I was listening to folks in Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan, feel an onslaught, a veritable deluge, a tsunami of what we're going to be talking about this. What appears to be almost a Muslim avalanche. They're seeing things they never thought before. And there are people who are scared out of their minds because they know something is coming, and you do too. And whether it's civil war, when we say civil war, I'm not thinking, don't think Antietam. Civil war in the streets, false flags, lockdowns, riots, blackouts, supply chain sabotage. This isn't theory, it's reality. And the elites are dismantling everything on schedule. And 1 week without food, and you'll change your tune. 1 week, it's nothing. That's a blip. 1 week, you're going to freak out. Stores closed, nothing. Let's say just for whatever reason. And you could take all your cash and crypto and gold and bullion and diamonds or whatever you want. It's meaningless. It's worthless when your family's hungry. Hunger is the weapon of control. Hunger is the most important thing. And survival is primal. Food, water, energy, ammo, that's it. That's the game. That's why I trust my friends. My Patriot Supplies 3-month food kit, over 2,000 calories a day, a 22 meal varieties, shelf life up to 25 years. And right now, 4 weeks free, a $247 bonus. So go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, right in the description section, right there's the link, preparewithlionel.com. Secure your food, protect your family, lock down your future. The storm is here, my friend. Preparation isn't paranoia, it's survival. Now, and we can talk about what you think is important and whom you think is important and blah, blah, blah. And that's interesting. But right now there is something that is going on, and that is the following suggestion that was made to me, which really had me going. Do not let people tell you whom you should listen to. Do not let people tell you. And they will try to tell you this. Believe me when I tell you. They will say, don't listen to Alex Jones. He's crazy. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to him. He's a crazy man. You can't listen to him. He's a crazy man. Don't do it. Don't listen to him. He's a crazy man. Don't listen to Nick Fuentes. He's a Holocaust denier. He's crazy. He's a racist. He's an anti-Semite. He said terrible and vile things. Oh. Don't listen to Candace. Candace is evil. Candace is terrible. Candace is an awful, bad, terrible, lousy person. What? Don't listen to her. Why not? She's bad. She's an anti-Semite. Don't listen to Tucker. He's crazy. Anybody else? No. Don't listen to anybody. Think about it. And the moment they tell you, go listen to him, be careful. There's something wrong with it. Something really seriously wrong. If they say, oh, yeah, no, he's okay. You don't mind him? Oh, no, he's good. Forget it. And then I was listening to something, and I've been listening to all of the times when this Nick Fuentes is all of a sudden he's popping up on all of these mattering. And when you hear him now, he may have said some crazy things in the past, but am I supposed to, according to their rules, am I supposed to just not follow them because he said something in the past that people find objectionable? I don't know. Let me know. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense to you? Does that make sense? I don't get it. I don't know how this thing works, but that's what they say. So the other day he was talking about something, and he says, and he uses the word Jews repeatedly. And every part of me, everything from my days of being in the biz for all these years, you realize you just don't say this. It's like the N word or the whatever word. Don't say it. Don't go there. Don't do it. Believe me, making a big mistake. Don't do it. Okay, don't. And they said that Nick is a Holocaust denier. I don't know if that's true. In the time that I've ever caught it, I don't listen to shows, but I'll listen a little bit here. He was on with Glenn Greenwald. He was on with Alex. He was on with, there were these, I think there was these black or these inner city, or whatever, these twins that he's on with them. He's having a great time. They're not talking about any kind of Holocaust denial or revision or historical, nothing. They're not talking about any of that. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. So I'm saying, when does he say that? What does a Holocaust denier sound like? It didn't happen? Is that what you're saying? Have you ever heard anybody say that? I've heard about these people, but I've never heard it. I don't listen to if I find one, I don't listen to a Holocaust denier like I wouldn't listen to a flat earther. Sorry. I know some people really believe, they really take this stuff seriously, but I don't listen. And I think you're entitled to believe in flat earth if that's what you want, but don't count me in. But I'm listening to him, and he brings up a good point. Rather than a good point, he brings up something that I've been listening to, and I'm thinking about this. And I want to ask you a question. First and foremost, do you really, honestly, truly, vehemently believe, where it keeps you up at night? Do you believe in what is happening right now in either genocide, ethnic cleansing, apartheid, or violations of human rights that Israel is accused of violating, either by the ICC, the ICJ, the Max Blumenthal School? Max Blumenthal. Max Blumenthal is it. He is the Alex Jones, the Charlie Kirk, nobody is better than he is. Nobody. When I mean better, I don't mean necessarily right, but I mean somebody who really knows his stuff. When it comes to what is happening and allegations of human rights violations, nobody can get even near Max Blumenthal. Period. End of discussion. Full stop. Period. Here's the question. Is this something that really bothers you to the point where you want to make sure nobody gets into office who does not do something specifically and actually and deliberately regarding this? Or is it a theoretical kind of a belief or concern on your part? Does that make any sense to you? Is this something that you say, this is it? Because if you listen to Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate. Go down the list. Not even Napolitano, because he does two things. He does Israel and Ukraine. But go down the list. Katie Halper, Abby Martin, Tucker to an extent, a lot of people. Do put that over here. Does that bother you more than the fear of a Muslim overrun in this country? Muslim Brotherhood. What is it that keeps you up at night more? What is it? And I want you to listen carefully, because what's happening, and what Fuentes said, which was interesting. Some people, he believes, like Lara Loomer, who was another powerhouse, whether she's funded by AIPAC, whether she's, who knows? But she is 100%, make no mistake about it. If you want to, she will go in and focus. Her focus is ferreting out, number one, people who are disloyal to the president, but also people who are, it's not so much that they're not America first, but they're Muslim Brotherhood types, Al Qaeda, ISIS, whatever it is. Not just anti-Muslim, though she will be accused of that. So what they're saying is, Fuentes is saying that she and others will focus on that, so that you won't notice what's going on in Israel. Because obviously Bibi Netanyahu and other people are worried about what's going on in Israel, because that's why they want to buy TikTok and the like. So the bottom line is simply this. What I've got one issue. Muslim encroachment, Muslim invasion, whatever you want to call it, or genocide in Gaza. Which one matters to you? One or the other? Listen to what somebody writes. Lionel, you haven't learned anything from the modern Islamic colonialization of Europe. Time to wake up. You didn't hear a word I said. You didn't hear a word I said. So thank you very much. But listen carefully. You missed the point. I'm asking you, what matters more? Don't jump into correct. Don't be punctilious. I know you mean well, and you're probably a great person, but you're not listening. You have to answer this question first before we get to the next question. Which issue is more important to you? Of the two, a Muslim invasion or Israel? Do you see what I'm saying? What is it that when you hear of Dearborn or Minneapolis, and you see we're going to have Zoran Mamdani, when you see Ilhan Omar, when you see Somalis in Minnesota, when you see hijabs and not burqas, but abayas, and you see women walking around, and you hear that the Muslim Brotherhood is talking about going in and not only taking over, buying property and businesses, but areas, but running for office, redoing this, maybe Sharia, but not sitting back and saying, here, not doing the typical welfare grift. Here, give me money, pay me off, affirmative action, quotas, housing, jobs, money. Come on, let's go. Reparations. I got it coming to me. Years of abuse. No. They're not asking for that. They're saying, we want to come in. What is it? I'm going to submit to you. Max Blumenthal said something. Did you see him recently and Alan Dershowitz in these arguments? This is that Piers Morgan nonsense, which is just a waste of time. Who can yell more? There seems to be, and I'm sorry, I hope nobody, but the pro, well, it's not so much just the pro Israel side, but a lot of them are trained in just talking over you, just talking as though nobody's talking at the same time. I've heard this too many times, and I have no interest in the subject matter. But Max Blumenthal said something. He said, these people are wasting their time with this worried about Antifa. Antifa is not a big deal. What's this Antifa stuff? What is it? What is this Antifa business? What does that mean? Hey, Antifa scares me more than anything that goes on in Gaza. What is happening here, America first? Now you could say, wait a minute, America first. What about the monies? You're right. That's a separate issue. But what I think Americans here worry about more and concern themselves more with, we don't want stuff happening in our country now like this. Do you hear what I'm saying? Most people, and this will blow their mind, most people never, ever talk about what's going on in Hamas or Gaza or Hezbollah or Lebanon or Bibi or how many times. Most Americans don't care anything about that. They've grown up with this. They know there's, and I'm not saying I feel like this. I'm telling you the way reality is. But what gets them more than anything else is you're coming to our country and we're not going to hear prayer calls at 3 a.m. This is America. We're losing our culture. We're losing our identity, our values, our language, our history. What's going on here? That's what they care about. Now, let me go back to what I'm saying. Remember, I'm telling you what voters say. I'm telling you what I feel. Because I feel you can blend in everything. I have many issues working simultaneously. But what he doesn't understand, what Fuentes doesn't understand, what Max Blumenthal doesn't understand, what Tucker doesn't understand, and if he wants to be the new media, folks, if you want to fill some Williamsburg coffee house on a weekend with all the cool kids, if you want to go and you want to bring Katie and Max and Anya and this one and that one to sit around and talk about genocide, that's great. And I'm not dismissing it because it's a critical question. And the problem with the genocide, we need a new term. I told you before, what's going on in Gaza is horrific. It is a massacre. It is a human rights stain on our humanity. That issue's over there. It doesn't play politically. Americans aren't talking about that. Americans don't talk about that. So if you think you're going to win office with that, you're out of your mind. And if Max Blumenthal thinks that he can get in there and say, oh, who cares about Antifa? Have you seen Andy No lately? He is the best. This guy almost lost his life. He had to move. They were going to kill him. And Max Blumenthal, it doesn't really matter. I was listening today to this. I was watching this debate. People say, oh, Max Blumenthal killed Dershowitz. Killed Dershowitz what? You know how long Dershowitz has been around? He's 85, 86 years old. This guy's the ever-ready buddy. I mean, he doesn't stop. Max Blumenthal's a kid. And he may be good. He may be great. He may be terrific. He may have the whole world with Galloway and everybody along with him, and he's correct. Remember, I'm not saying that he's not right. But in this country, good luck. You want to call it anti-Semitic? Call it anti-Semitic. Call it whatever you want. That's not what scares people. What scares people in this country is the idea of some kind of an invasion. We talked to a guy the other day on WABC. He said he lives he's from Jersey City. And he said, there's two big buildings. He says, it's not that they're not handing anything out to Chinese people. On the contrary, Chinese people are buying this up. You see, I mentioned this the other day. There's no Karens You know, if you ever watch YouTube, like these people walking around with a bonnet and a shower cap on their head, screaming and yelling and tearing. There's no, there's no Indian, um, Chinese, Venezuelan, no La Fonda with a bonnet screaming and yelling. No, have you heard that? Have you heard about any Chinese kids ever losing their shit at some Chipotle or Panda Express, losing their mind because they didn't get the duck sauce? No. Do you see any of these people in the corner begging? No. Do you hear of any rash of Chinese or and they're illegals, the folks here who come here, any Muslims? Have you seen that? You see Venezuelans, you see TDA, you'll see MS-13, you'll see some of these bastards, some Mexicans, badass. Did you ever see anybody from where? Qatar or I don't know, Pakistan or nope. Nope. America don't know what that means. What they see is, why are you wearing that veil? How come you don't cover your face? Are you having all these kids? Are you going to take over? Are we going to lose everything? We'll get to Tucker in a moment. I want you to listen to me, and I want you to just listen and not answer, not, how do I say this? Not say something immediately, okay? We have elections coming up. We have midterms. And when this came up with the president, I said the thing that every American deals with, everybody, black, white, gay, man, woman, young, old, and it's the idea of transgender, especially kids, but men competing against women in sporting goods. That's the issue. Put all your money in it. I sound like what's that guy's name? Luntz, Frank Luntz or something, you know. Luntz. Doesn't Luntz sound like the sound human waste sounds when it hits water in a bowl? Luntz. Anyway, sorry for the imagery. But what I'm saying is this. That's the issue. So I'm watching all this stuff, and I'm thinking, that's great. Look at this there over here. You got Richard Gere's talking about Palestine here. You got London here. You got. Do you see this here? Anything? There were some attempts at, and I'm not saying it's not a valid. People still misunderstand. It's like if I were to say feminism. That's important. Women's rights, I should say. Excuse me. Nobody's talking about that. Second Amendment rights. Nobody's talking about that. Not now. UFOs. That's important. Nobody wants to talk about it. Don't run on that one. MK Ultra. Oh, Jesus, don't say that. Now, you got to understand something. That's just the way it is. If you were going to open up a restaurant and you ask me, what would be the best thing to serve? What would be the best cuisine? The best in terms of money? Yeah. Oh, that would be barbecue or sliders, something kind of a Five Guys meets, I don't know, something like that. Maybe like a wing place. Is that the most healthy food? No, but that's where you make the most money. And if you want to make money at a bar, open up a gay bar. Nothing but profit. No fights, top shelf. That's the way it is. Now, do I want to go to those? No. You ask me a question, what would be the most profitable? What would be the most important? What would be blah, blah, blah? That's what you ask. And that's the critical thing. That's the critical aspect here. So all this stuff we talk about, all of this stuff, Judge Napolitano, Sachs, this and that, Bibi's got to go. They want this in Israel. What are you talking about? You think Bibi's some outlier? You think the citizens in Israel are saying, no, Bibi, stop. Stop this. No, they're not. What are you talking about? But here's the deal. what I would tell Nick Fuentes, everybody else, and Tucker. You're not going to attract mainstream if you do that. I'm just telling you, wrong place, wrong country. You can show them all the stuff you want, and they'll look at them. Now, show them. Have this thing you have this sound. Where's this from? Riyadh? I can't do it. I'm not going to mock the prayer, but imagine these speakers, bottom 3 a.m. Where is this 3 a.m.? Where do you think this is? Where? Dearborn, Michigan. People would say, oh my God, you want that in your country? In your city, in your town? Yeah. Vote Trump. Thank you. I'm in. As opposed to, look at this. We want you to vote for Gavin Newsom because of the human rights violation, the genocide, the human suffering, the ethnic cleansing, all of that. You vote for Gavin Newsom. And I'll tell the Democrats, go with that one. Please go with that one. Oh no, this is separating the young vote. When I tell people something that's true, it may not necessarily be what I believe, but I'm telling you the way it is. Charlie Kirk. You know who does not come across as relatable to a lot of people? Erica. Oh, I like her. I didn't ask you whether you liked her. She comes across. Look at the focus groups. Phony. A lot of jewelry. Gonna make. I don't know. Nobody's listening to her. Charlie Kirk was kind of like a but he was smart as a whip, and he did something. He just connected. And later on, they're trying, oh, did you hear this? Max Blumenthal and Candace not made up, but had this story of this. You don't understand. There was a meeting in the Hamptons, and Bill Ackman invited Charlie Kirk. And there's that, whatever her name is, the red, flame-haired Oxford barrister, AIPAC-sponsored Jewish lawyer who screamed at Charlie, upbraiding him, screaming at him, you yelling at him, how dare you? And then they said they offered him, somebody said they offered him $150 million, basically like doubling their budget, if he were to lay off this what am I trying to say? There's this. They tried to get him to change his way. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever heard in my life. I don't even know what they were, and nobody knows if it's even true. And some people, Ackman said, no, I pay for that. You pay for it. No, whatever it was. It was this story that may have gone nowhere. So anyway, our side, our group, talked about this, and America couldn't give a shit less about some party that Bill Ackman had in the Hamptons, and so. And this was so inside baseball. It's like, what are you doing? But everybody loved it because they're not anti-Semitic by any stretch of the imagination, but they see Bibi and they lose their shit. Now, you may not be wrong. I'm not saying you are. But America doesn't care about that. I'm telling you, if you're going to run for office on that, stick with me. I want to get stuff. I want stuff that works. I want flags and the best goddamn. We'll get to Tucker in a moment. The best, the best, the best ad ever was Ronald Reagan. Morning in America. Oh my God. Morning in America. He was great. Morning in America. My God, it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. It was waking up and you saw them. This looks like Anytown, USA, and they're pulling up the thing, with the flag, and oh my God, it's beautiful. And there's a guy on a bike, and they're throwing it. It's a paper boy. It's Mayberry. White people. If I recall correctly, there weren't no Mexican. Maybe a guy mowing the lawn, but it wasn't. And it said, "It's morning in America." And there's a diner open. He goes, "Morning, Dave," and he's got the first dollar he made, and it was the most. Oh God, it was beautiful, beautiful. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. That's what you do. That's how you win. So let's talk about Tucker. Tucker wants to have. Tucker's going to say, "Do you want to be the next Alex Jones?" Very, very simple. Alex has that covered. Alex does Alex better than Alex is shaved now. Alex looks more like a businessman. Alex is more dangerous. See, Alex is going to be able to do this until he's 90. As long as he can speak, he can do this. So Tucker's going to say, "What is it that I'm about? What is it? What is it? What is it? What's your gimmick? Give me your elevator pitch for one thing." Candace Owens pisses off people. Pisses off Brigitte Macron, who was going to crush her. Pisses off the Jews. Pisses off the Zionists. Pisses off whatever. She pisses them off. It's not that she advances a cause. It's not that she promotes an idea. It's not that she's the spokesperson for an ideology. It's I piss off these people. You want to see her snarl and get snarky and sarcastic. It's kind of what Ann Coulter kind of used to be before she fell off the radar. That's her shtick. That's her shtick. Megyn Kelly, kind of still doing like a news show. A little snarky, but no shit obvious. Nothing cut. She'll never go into it. She'll never talk about gay frogs or Operation Storm Fury or any of that stuff. She'll just be, but does a good job. She knows what she wants to do. It's kind of like a news show. It's like Maureen Callahan kind of dressed up, but Maureen Callahan's also very good. Snarky, entertainment, People Magazine meets, whatever it is. All right, that's that. Everybody's got their shtick. Everybody's got their thing. That's what they do. So what does Tucker do? What does his do? Well, he's a Christian, and he's an American, and he likes a little bit about. He goes into Wikipedia and something about this. He doesn't really land on it. You know what I mean? He doesn't land on the subject. He doesn't land on it. Where he says, "I'm going to get to the bottom of MK Ultra." It's like, one guess, that's it. That's it. We're done. Next, we're going to talk about whatever it is. Joe Rogan still does it best. Joe Rogan says, "Good luck trying to figure out what I'm doing. I'm comfortable I'm being me. I might want to talk about eating raw meat, doing weed, comedy, family, whatever the hell I want, because it's Joe Rogan. You like Joe Rogan." The best is when somebody says, "I can talk about anything because they like me." I don't know if people like Tucker or if they like what he has to say. It's a big difference. Alex is a different story. Alex is simply the best because he's just and I'm just looking at him. If I had to market him, First of all, you never how he talks like this 4 or 5 hours straight is beyond me. He never loses a train of thought. Never says, "What the hell was I saying?" Never. With this whole world falling in, he knows everything about everything. He is so he's one of the few. Candace, it's about her. Not what you want. You want to see her be real bitchy. Let's face it. She's gonna and you want to see her go after somebody. She hates these. Oh my God. Nobody. She's like entertainingly mean. Matt Walsh, boring as the day is long. Just boring. Nothing. Interesting, but not, that's. So who is going to be the new one? Glenn Beck? I don't know. But Tucker could do it. But he's still trying to figure out who he is. Because Tucker, by the way, in terms of his own makeup, his own personality, he's got to figure out who he is. I can see it right away. And I know it. There are people who say, this is who I am. This is the way I do it. You know who knows who he is? Michael Savage. Michael Savage is the best example of somebody who says, this is the way I am. This is the way I am. Like it, take it or leave it. That's it. That's what you've got to pay attention to. So, my friends, we are on the cusp of something so big and so huge. I am telling you right now. And Tucker, this could be yours, but you've got to streamline. You need to have a meeting, almost like a retreat, okay? And I'm going to play director. And I'm going to tell you, let me tell you this movie I'm doing. It's called The Tucker Carlson Show. Let me explain the role. Let me tell you what our main character is, what he is, what he's not, what he does, what he's all about. I want you to understand it. You can't come in one day and do this and you do something else. I mean, it's okay. But the idea is this. Do we want to know you? Or do we want to like you? Know a little bit about you? Or is it the subject matter? And do you really get down like Alex does? Or do you just sit back? Or do you do it like Rogan does and act just thoroughly, marveling at things? So that's what's happening right now. I think put your money on Tucker because what he's got is something that nobody's got. Number one, he doesn't have the young people. Some people. Young is a different story. I'm going to say something, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way. Young is okay, but they're very expendable, very fickle. And unless they're going to vote, keep your money. Your big ticket market is in older folks. You want to sell methylene blue? Go with the older folks. You want to have somebody with disposable income who can, write a check for $300 for colostrum, whatever. That's who it is. What people who buy Lincolns? That's who you want. 25 to 54, my friend. I'd say more later on. There's a whole new group, plus define your group. So let me just explain to you what's going on. If it doesn't work to American voters, and if it's kind of some niche internet discussion group, I'm not really interested in it. As far as I'm concerned, what's going on in the middle, what's going on with the Palestinians is a travesty. A travesty. But listen to what I'm saying. Americans don't give a shit about that. We've heard it. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? What? Stop sending money. Okay. They don't even understand Ukraine. They don't even get that. They kind of do because they've been told that they're supposed to hate Putin. You hear what I'm saying? Do you dig what I'm saying? Good. That's all. Think about that. Think very, very carefully to what I'm saying. Let me also say something to you one more time. Listen to me carefully. Very, very carefully. When I talk to you about preparewithlionel.com, this is not bullshit. I'm not just pulling here. I'm not trying to say something like, well, you may or you may not. I don't know if it works or not. It couldn't hurt. They say it picks you up. I don't know. Oh, no. Emergency food? You want me to explain to you emergency food? Dear God, man. Dear God. Pay attention. Focus big time. That's exactly. This is huge. Preparewithlionel.com. You'll see. I hope to God, I hope you'll say it's the best money I ever wasted in my life. I didn't need it. But by the way, you're going to open it up and you're not, when you look at it, you're not going to be able to wait until D-Day or 0 hour. You're going to want it because the food's terrific. That's all. It's common sense. I'm not going to bullshit you. People don't like that. They don't like that. I don't share a lot of the same passions that people have. I'm a realist. Now, if you want to talk about whether things are bad, I'll talk to you about that. But as far as politically, my country is on the brink of collapse. And believe me, if I had to worry about 2 things or 3 things, Antifa, Arab Muslim Brotherhood influence versus Hamas or whatever, no. Most people don't know who Hamas is. They don't know what you're talking about. And if I have to explain to you why what affects me immediately in my country is the most important, if I've got to explain that to you, if you don't understand that, there's no hope. None. There's no hope. And I know you're smarter than that. All right, my friends. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Do what I say. Follow Lynn's Warriors. Follow Lynn at Lynn's Warrior, Mrs. L. Don't forget my other the legal channel, Lionel Legal, and make sure you are subscribed right here to Lionel Nation. Everything, like they said about Barry Goldwater, in your heart, you know I'm right. I'm absolutely 100% right. Because if it doesn't convert to politics, elections, and my country, it's all academic. You want to talk about Basque separatists? You want to talk about what? What do you want to talk about? Honor killings in another country? Terrible. Doesn't affect me here. Not that I don't want to talk about it, but if it doesn't affect my elections, and if there's no way I can capitalize on it here, I don't have a lot of time, and I've got a country with not much of an attention span. I don't want to waste time with stuff. That makes sense. Remember, if you want to go to some kind of a Greenpoint coffee house on a weekend, have at it. Carla, by the way, there she is. Carla says, I have my own freeze-dried, but I'm seriously thinking of buying the family your freeze-dried set. This isn't freeze-dried. This is more like, oh, look, you can look at it. Have a great week. I'm off to London. Wish me luck. Yes, good luck indeed. Be careful and make sure, Carla, you let us know when you're back safe. Oh, my God, what they're going through is awful. Preparewithlionel.com. Check it out. And see the other stuff they have for generators and water purifiers. If you've ever liked, when I was a kid, I liked going to Army Navy stores. Look at all this great bivouac and stuff. This is state of the art. This is like somebody thought, what do we do? How do we have wireless AM, FM, portable, crank machine? I mean, everything you would need when the shit hits the fan. Okay? All right, my friends. Have a great and glorious night. May see me tonight, 11 o'clock. Don't know. You got to stay tuned to Lionel Nation. I may just pop out of nowhere. Until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad, dad.